You need to take advantage of this mooncat bug inside of Grow Garden. So pretty much what we're talking about is the basic system that's going to incorporate the obviously super overpowered sprinkler method, and additionally the mooncats, which are very helpful pets that are going to do a lot of very overpowered things, mainly revolving around their core ability. So if I want to, pull up one of my mooncats right here. So this has a very overpowered ability to, make your plants grow at a higher size. And there are plenty of ways you can obtain these. So if you do want to know, obviously the best way you can obtain them, this is going to be through the summer harvest event. So obviously these pets are at the rarest ability, which is at prismatic. So you do want to try to get these pets if possible, because once again, they're going to be only naturally obtainable in the prismatic rarity. So if you can't get them to, if you can't get to prismatic, the best way you can do this is what's called the tomato method. So this is the best way you can obtain the highest, prismatic rarity solo. So you can easily solo this if you are, time efficient and using, as you see, I'm using mice to increase my speed. This just helps to make it a lot easier, but you don't need anything, like you don't need these divine rarities, you don't need kiwis or any mythic, you only need tomatoes, and this is what makes this method very overpowered. So we're going to use these to try to get prismatic to get the mooncat. So pretty much what you're going to want to do is, if possible, for a more optimal setup, I would say, is try to have your tomatoes literally as close to the front of your garden as you can. And then what you're going to do is set up like pre-fire accounts. So what I like to do is I'll join in on one account, right? I'll put my alt account here, and then I'll put another alt account over here, and I use things like LD Player or emulators or my phone or whatnot, just so I can have all the accounts and fill up the first two plots. Now, the reason for this is when you join on your main account, which will put you in the third plot that's actively open, it'll put you right here. And obviously, if you're wondering why we want to be put right here, is because we're going to be put smack dab right here, right next to the trade-in thing. So you can easily just grab all your tomatoes that are going to be right here, run right over here, and then trade them in right here. Now, realistically, this isn't, I don't think, directly in the middle. So if you're over on the other left side plot, so if you want to load in 4 accounts, then you can run directly to that rather than, anything else. But nonetheless, you do want to be in one of these middle plots just to make this more efficient. All of this is going to obviously make sense later in the video. Just trust the process, because we want to get the mooncat, and this is the most efficient way you can grind to the prismatic rarity. But so also, as a note, we're giving away all of these seed packs, and this glitch is going away soon, just like these seed packs. So make sure you join the giveaway. To enter, you just got to comment your username and like this video, and to enter into the giveaway. So just make sure you like the video, comment your username on this video to enter into the giveaway, and I'll be giving away 10 seed packs to the winner, and you can have a chance to get things like the elephant ear and the rosy delight before they're gone, because we'll be using the rosy delight to show you why this method is super overpowered. So first off, with the setup, you're going to want to have as many mooncats as possible. These are very, very easily obtainable, but they're also going to get nerfed and most likely completely removed in the next update. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick up obviously all your pets, and you want to have as many of these down as you can. So like 6 to 8, maybe 6 or 7. And once you have all of these down, this is what their ability really does. So every 67 seconds, this is also only note a level 15 one, it'll nap for 20 seconds. And a new fruit within 20 studs will be 1.5x larger and have a 7.3% chance to have night type. Fruits will stay during harvest. That's just a passive. You don't really have to worry about that. But once again, the main core function we're going to be looking over is this ability of the stud increase. So the reason why this is very valuable is considering the core function that we're going to be pairing this with the sprinkler glitch, which we'll go over the setup in a second. But why this is very helpful and overpowered, this can pretty much guarantee your plants get big, because the main issue with, the sprinkler glitch is your plants will get really big. Normally they'll always be really big. You could luck out and have them be this big, but if you want them to always be this big, this is how I got this one so big, is doing the method. Obviously, I'll show you the sprinkler setup, and there is a finalized setup you will have to note later that makes it like 100% work every time. So once you though do have this setup, you're going to want to have a master sprinkler, one godly sprinkler, one advanced sprinkler, and one basic. But as you see this circle right here, so this is the circle range effect of where it's sleeping. So anything in this circle, so like these loquat seeds and plants, these are going to be affected. These blueberries right here, these are going to be affected by the cat's size increase. So this is something to note. But additionally, what we can also look at is if you are using plants that are affected by any of the craftable sprinklers, do make sure you try to use these crafting sprinklers. So like the sweet soaker, I believe, is the only one that affects size. So you should try to get this if you can, and you're grinding, say, moon melons or something. That would be the best optimal strategy, would be using them on that. And I don't actively know, there's most likely a pet somewhere out there that increases size on those. Additionally though, if you are doing this, you could pair this with, say, something, if you're doing this just for show, like a prickly plant, you could use something like the cactus cactus. So obviously you could use cactus, dragon fruit, things like that. I would do this literally just for decoration because it would look cool to have a really big plant alongside this one right here. But you would want to try to prioritize the quality out of this. So if you're doing something like a prickly pet, what you should try to use is a hedgehog. I don't have any on this account, you know, they're all on my storage account, but this is going to ensure the fact that you can get the best size bonus, since the prickly pet will just make all, or the hedgehog will make all prickly plants bigger. So you can use this for money methods in regards to the nectar thorn. The nectar thorn is very overpowered since it is applicable to all of these things, and since it's an event and yields and not a lot of plants, it has a very high base sell value. And if you do want to check base sell values, you can use my crop calculator website where you can check all these values. So as shown, we're going to, for the example, you could use the nectar thorn. So you can't find it, you can search it. So nectar thorn, this is a base sell value of 30,000 at 5 kilograms. That is not big. And you can easily get this to hundreds of kilograms using the Mooncat glitch. So you could use, say about, you got it, you know, easily to like 100 kilograms. Now it's a 9 million plant. And then, you know, stack on friend boost and max mutations. And this plant's going to be worth about 600 to 800 billion. Nearly, you could probably get it to 600 to 700 billion. And alongside this and like raccoon grinding, I know a lot of people in my Discord server will split 50-50 and do raccoon grinding with you because they have raccoons, not a good plant. You could easily do that. But once again, the main thing we do want to try to prioritize is just the general value that you can get. So once again, I would recommend trying to prioritize the best setup as efficiently possible. So if you are wanting to go for show, use something like the nectar thorn, but for sell value, you can use that. So what we're going to do is, for the setup at least, you're going to once again need the Mooncat. As stated before, the Mooncat has the crazy overpowered ability. So every 67 seconds, so practically a minute, once you get it to a higher level as a minute, it'll run for a bit over 20 seconds. And a new fruit within the circle range, as it's doing right now, will be 1.5x larger. So as you see, this circle range right here is going to be way bigger. And this is what makes it really overpowered. So new fruit within 20.4x stuns will be 1.5x larger. And then you also stack on the sprinkler method for this, and they will be way bigger. What we're going to do is prioritize. You need to use an alt account on your phone. So I'm going to pull out my phone real fast. And so what you're going to do on your phone is you're going to go onto Roblox, and you're going to need an alt account for this. That's the only reason I'm doing this. So I'm going to quickly sign into one of my alt accounts real fast and join in on it. So the reason for this is the alt account is very necessary for this, because you need to locate the Mooncat in order to know when you should do, you know, the full setup. So we're going to join in right now. So as you see, we're loading in, and I should be, if I, you know, rotate my camera, I should be able to see I'm over there. So once I load in fully, I'll show you the, you know, full setup. So what we're going to do is, so prioritize the plants you want to, you know, have the size bonus on. So if I wanted to make my sunflower really big, I'm going to pull out my sprinklers, and I'm going to put down, once again, as I said before, I'm going to put down one master, one godly, one basic, and advanced. And this is just to ensure you get the best size increase on value. There has been people saying stuff about the more sprinklers of each rarity you use, the better. I don't really think that matters in consideration to the different sprinkler stack, but I don't think the actual sprinklers themselves stack. Now, this then ties into the reason why we want so many of the Mooncats equipped at once, is because you're going to have to hope that the Mooncat is sleeping on one of your plants when you activate this glitch, because as you know, shown, it does activate every minute, and you don't want to, you know, waste time waiting around when the glitch setup starts. But you do though want to hope that it does sleep on the correct one. So if you have more cats and, you know, these are set in a more general range, or like not all the way out to the right corner, maybe set them in the middle or something like that, then you'll probably have a better chance to have it target this. So what we're going to do is you're going to set on the sprinklers, and then you're just going to leave the game. So once you put down your sprinklers on your alt account, this is when this comes in hand. So what you're going to do is, on your alt account, if you can see it, you're going to come on over to where your main account's going to be. So I'm going to come on over here. So, and we're going to come on into the middle of the garden. So I'm over here, and then on over to the main account. What we're going to do is go back in. So obviously with the sprinkler glitch, you do want to try to wait around 20 to 30 minutes for this to activate. The reason why some people say 20, some people say 30. If you're doing the sprinkler glitch like me, I usually just straight up wait an hour, but 30 minutes at the very least is how little you want to wait. So once you do wait the full, you know, at least 30 minutes, we're going to go back into the game and join into the server. Obviously, I'm not going to do the full 30 minutes because I don't have time for that, but do not click the skip or load. So what we're going to do is let this be and let it load. So what we're going to do is use our alt account to do the setup. So what we're going to do over here is, if you can't see, we're going to wait for everything to load in. So as you see on this, don't click this. So I'm going to click literally off of the tab. So my mouse is over here. The reason why we want to do this is so that we can actually have the setup. So I click the thing, right? That messes it up. So you want to not click onto it, just so you can get the flashbang. And then once the flashbang hits you, all your plants will then grow. So the plants won't grow until that happens. So what we wait for, the reason why you want to wait for the loading screen before you click the skip thing is you're going to sit on your alt account and you're going to find the mooncat. So you want to, on this account, watch for the mooncats. And once the mooncat does its sleeping ability, if the plant you're targeting is in the range of its ability, you want to have at least one. Obviously, if you can get 2 on it or more, that would be better, but you want to have at least 1 sleeping on it. And then as soon as it's in, you're going to click, skip in, then you get the flashbang. And then with this, being instated into your thing, the plant will grow and it'll immediately have the size increase bonus value multiplier increased by the pet sleeping. Now, this will dramatically make every single one of your plants super big, and you need to take advantage of this right now, especially with, how naturally obtainable this pet is. And obviously, it might most likely get